Hi, this is Jackie.
Hi, this is Diana.
And you're listening to Home Bodies Only, where we welcome all bodies to join us as we break down and dissect HBO Max series. I keep forgetting to say Max, by the way. And we are recapping, and just like that, Season 2, Episode 6, Bomb Cyclone. Okay, so as you may have heard from last episode, we're changing things up with the format, trying to make shorter episodes, a little more concise. I did timestamps on YouTube. So this recap is not done by me. It is done by New York Times writer Ali, Trachta, Trachta. I got it right from the New York Times website. I am not reading everything she wrote because it's throwing in her opinion and all that. So I'm just going to do a quick recap because also our last episode, because I was doing the timestamps, the recap was the longest segment. That's a little ridiculous.
Right.
It was like 15 minutes.
And did you, right. So we want to cut that down a little bit. But
Yeah.
Did you want to go, for those that didn't catch the last episode, do we want to give the rundown of what our format is?
Sure. So we're going to do recap, talk about the fashion.
Yes.
I can relate segment. Love, hate segment. I will do a speech language analysis. If there is anything, you will do a psychoanalysis. Do you want to call it a psychoanalysis or does that sound weird? Psychological analysis or psychoanalysis?
Whatever you want.
I mean, I feel like psychoanalysis is what you do. But when I wrote that out, it sounded weird.
Yeah.
And then a wrap up.
There you go.
Okay.
I love it. Here we go.
So here is the recap. Okay. MoMA is honoring LTW as a Black woman filmmaker on the same day that Herbert has a campaign event. They do, argue a bit. This woman wrote tussle. But I would not say that about who should take, whose event should take precedence. But LTW says she is going to do me. And Herbert, someone wrote, Herbert can kick rocks. Okay. So anyway, the car service ends up canceling on her. Herbert offers to drop her off because he has a Tahoe coming to get him. Yeah. Cause there's a huge snowstorm in the city on the day of all these events happening. Yeah. Lisa's pride, LTW's pride won't let him save her. So she does trudge, they said, in fabulous stiletto boots, unrealistic, to the event and makes it to the stage with no help from him. And then he does show up there. She's surprised. Very cute. Okay. Seema asks Carrie to rent a house with her in the Hamptons for a weekend. I did get confused at first. I'm like, wait, I know it's supposed to be winter. I mean, I know you make those plans, especially like the Hamptons, that far in advance. They make plans for that. Carrie had drafted an email to Aiden and just kind of left it there and let it float in space, which I would not have done. I would have saved it to drafts. I would not have let
open
it
tabs
sit
really
there. No open tab. I mean, come on. All right. Carrie gets invited to do this, quote, WidowCon, unquote. She cannot be this no-show on the day of the storm because the person who is organizing it, Karen, who now goes by Carrie, who is played by Rachel Dratch, apparently she had ghosted Carrie a long time ago for a critical meeting with a big studio head, though Carrie doesn't seem to have any memory of it. So basically at this conference, WidowCon, she's going to be reading from her new book. And she's the keynote speaker.
Right.
Because Carrie remembered her. Carrie Bradshaw is very anxious about this gig and needs a sidekick. To help her. So she asks Che to assist her, I guess, and keep her brave because Che, obviously is a stand-up. So, blah, blah, blah. It says, when snow pummels the streets of Manhattan on the big day, Che tries to weasel out of the commitment. But Carrie uses her own status as a grieving widow to rope Che back in. Carrie lumbers through the blizzard all the way to the Sheridan, and she's on the phone with Charlotte, which I don't know if you noticed this. Carrie's audio sounded perfectly fine, so you could tell it was like dubbed in. I don't know if like something happened when they were filming with the faux wind.
I don't know, but it bothered me.
Yeah, it bothered me too because it was so fake. And Charlotte was like, well, like not.
Yeah.
I mean, Charlotte's was more realistic. Also, the depth of the snow, there was no depth of snow. That's again unrealistic, even for the city. The snow
it's almost like
up.
that was filmed on a green screen.
Maybe.
Or something. I'm telling you, it didn't look at all like that they were in Manhattan during a snowstorm.
No.
They could.
Oh, no. Yeah.
It was like. Yeah. It was worse than being in a Hallmark movie where it's like.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
anyway.
It was. I mean, I love the Hallmark movies.
I don't know. Who doesn't? The carefully placed snow and everything.
Right. Of course. And yeah. All right. So Charlotte, on the other end, desperately needs condoms for Lily and her boyfriend Blake, who are about to do the deed for the first time. This is quoting this writer. The snowpocalypse has shut down every drugstore, so Charlotte calls to ask Carrie if she has any, and Carrie does not. Eventually, Charlotte obtains a smorgasbord of condom options and drops them off at Blake's parents' house, giving Lily a quick hug before her daughter runs upstairs. Over in Brooklyn, Steve and Miranda find themselves alone in their old house. Miranda takes the opportunity to do the dirty work she knows she can't put off forever. She presses Steve about moving out, and almost immediately they spiral. Steve insists loudly that it's his house. He built the kitchen, he redid the floor, and then all the memories started coming back to me from the Sex and the City episodes, and I was crying. But Miranda's money bought it. She reminds him the jab sends Steve over the edge, and he cuts Miranda in the deepest way possible, screaming she never wanted to move there, never wanted him, and never even wanted Brady. Miranda nearly leaves, heaving sobs, and she puts on her coat, but Steve manages to stop her, apologizing profusely. The two end up lying next to each other affectionately in bed, with Miranda apologizing in turn for causing Steve so much pain. But shortly after that, Miranda does find a condom wrapper on Steve's end table. So basically he has moved on, which she didn't think, because Carrie did end up telling her what he had said to her last season. That he was not taking his ring off. Anyway. So she immediately releases the guilt she has been shouldering for months and walks out, heading home to her, says, true love, Che. Well, Che breaks up with Miranda. Miranda takes it fairly well.
Yeah.
My opinion. Carrie ends up sending the email to Aiden in the end. That's what I got for the recap. You think that's good?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go into fashion.
Ooh.
So I want to point out the scene where Carrie is wearing apparently a vintage ski suit when she's with Seba. She's wearing those boots again. I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Till I clicked on Shop Your TV for something else. The ski suit came up, and there's those darn boots. So that excited me. I did not like the ski suit.
I didn't either.
No, and especially as an outfit. Like, I think it would be cool to wear that on the. Maybe if you go skiing, to wear the vintage look.
I'm all about like the vintage one piece.
Yeah.
At the slopes. I'm like the ski lodge mom, so I get to see all the fashion at these places, and I'm sure I like. It's kind of like me in I want to look like a runner, but I don't want to run. I like the fashion of people who run. Yeah. I also like the fashion of people that ski. But I have no desire. I'm all set. Yeah.
That's what I said. I wanted to
ski as well.
I want to dress like a surfer. Yeah. But not actually surf. I mean, I'd love to, but I don't have. I've tried just on my belly, and I was so exhausted and sore just from that that's not going to happen. That also terrifies me to ride a wave. I mean, I think it's amazing, but I would never. Yeah. Okay. But let's see what I did like. Because I just put the link to the boots. Okay. Back. No, I don't have a link to this. Carrie was wearing suspenders on her pants. I don't know exactly what the pants look like, at Naya's dinner party. And I didn't notice them at first because she wore a vintage looking blouse that had like the gold thread running through it, like in stripes. I kind of liked that. I did not like the suspenders, which were like brown straps, leather. They looked like they were leather, like a like a belt. With that blouse. At first I'm like, she wearing a backpack? I kept like trying to figure out what she was wearing. And I realized, oh, those are suspenders. I'm like, actually, I like the suspenders. She's done that before. She's worn suspenders before. But I did not like them with the blouse. Like, to me, if you're going to wear brown belt-looking suspenders, you wear like a cream plain shirt underneath, like to really emphasize the suspenders as opposed to that we couldn't see them at all. I couldn't find anything out about those. I did go on Shop Your TV and I went on and just like that costumes just to see if maybe they threw those in there. But I didn't see them. I don't know if they were separate or came with the pants she was wearing. So not much help. And then the last thing I have for the fashion is they called it a puffer coat. What Carrie was wearing in the blizzard. It's called a puffer coat. Okay.
Was that custom?
I don't think it's custom. It's actually from 2019. This is what I found out from Shop Your TV. It is Moncler. Or Moncler by, oh my goodness, Pier Paolo Piccoli, Fall 2019 collection. It says buy, not available. But it does say get it secondhand on eBay. Yeah, right. Okay, I just clicked on eBay. I
expect you to be sporting that on our next snow day.
Yeah, so I have never seen anything like that. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with me. That was 4 years ago when this thing came out. So I don't know how I missed that, especially where we live and especially where you grew up.
Totally.
Buffalo. I mean, why haven't you found anything like that? I'm so confused.
Yes, that was, I mean, it almost, do you remember Rainbow Bright?
Yeah.
Ooh. Do you remember her outfit? Somehow it gave me that vibe of that thing, like that dress coat thing. Yeah. So that's where it took me.
I mean, it really was very cool. I can't imagine it was comfortable. Maybe. No. The model, they showed on a model.
Could you imagine putting that in checking at the Sheridan?
Yeah.
Here's my coat.
I wish they showed that scene. That would have been a good scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What do you have for fashion?
For fashion, I wrote down the 3 things that I loved. I loved Miranda's jammies. I want them.
Yeah.
I love wearing those types of pajamas. I love sets. I love matchy jammies. Yeah. So that was my favorite.
I did think of you when I saw those pajamas.
Yeah. I'm such a jammy freak. I also enjoyed Carrie's bag when she was at the office with Rachel Drash, the Carrie K. It was hardly noticeable, but it caught my attention. I think it was like a black, I felt like it was gold studded or some sort of hardware. I was I wish I got like a cloak because I was like, ooh, I love that bag. And then LTW in the snow. Everything about her outfit. I thought of you too. Was amazing. The poncho, everything. I love that she carried her wig in her little hat box.
In like a hat box.
It was amazing. So that's what I had.
I knew you were going to say that. I thought you were going to, I thought you were going to say that about LTW. I also thought you were going to say something about somebody's pajamas. Somebody in there.
Totally.
Which is good.
That's me.
Did you must have seen, now I know I can find out about her quote, coat, unquote, that LTW had on. So you saw her lifted over her head. It kind of looked like a skirt, which actually, I know I saw it on here on Shop Your TV before I think I even watched the show, or maybe before I saw it on the show. I think I was going on Shop Your TV and I was like, is that a skirt? I was like, no. I don't even know what you would call that. It's like a coat / shawl sort of
poncho thingy.
This thing will not refresh and let me go to the show. This is so annoying. Sorry, guys, because they had it on here. I know you're dying to know how much it is and see if you can buy it yourself. Or maybe you already bought it. And just like, there's a lot of shows that start with the letter A. I'm just saying.
Indeed.
This is really ridiculous how many shows are on here. Okay, season 2. Sorry, I have to pull up this skirt coat thing. It's black and white. Here we go. Oh, what are they calling this? Oh, they showed that she was wearing a black leather miniskirt. Cool. She had a hot pink purse. I don't know. Oh, she also had on cuff gloves, by the way. Oh. See, these are things I didn't totally notice, but I think maybe you were supposed to notice. Here, look, when she's grabbing her hat in that one scene. Oh, it's a cuff glove. So it's a glove with a cuff on it. Come on, they gotta have this. Okay, here we go. It's called a cape. Somebody knocking on your door. Who is it?
Okay, I'm gonna.
Oh. It's all right. I can always cut it out. We can keep it in. You can mute yourself and talk. I can talk about the cape.
Keep going.
It's a cape, and it is by Balmain, which I've heard before. I'm probably saying that wrong. Pleated houndstooth Katie turtleneck poncho. Oh no, poncho, you said, in black. You buy it on something called Farfetch, which,
that
it is probably far-fetched. It's not showing up when I clicked on Farfetch, so it's probably sold out. But they have a lot of it's just like coats are coming up. Oh, interesting. But things are like they have Karl Lagerfeld for 50% off. So for this other coat, so apparently maybe these are this one coat is $6,670. So this website called farfetch.com looks like it sells all different brands. Okay. So I'm not sure if this is like a designer ponchos and capes. Okay. Well, I don't see that on there. So maybe they were just like, maybe you'll find it. Okay. I had to find that because that was driving me nuts. All right. Should we go into I can relate? The biggest, I could relate to Carrie when she was setting up her laptop.
That's what I wrote down.
That was like, you wrote that down. I'm sweating, by the way, from this new light that I have. Speaking of, I didn't get a ring light, but I got this other light and I like it, but I'm like, it's giving me like a sunburn.
Hot flashes?
And hot flashes. Like I have a bathing suit on, but anyway. To stacking the stuff up. She closes the curtain. She turns on the one light, then she
That's us.
So that is us. I could definitely relate to that. And I didn't write this down, but the whole snow day vibe. Oh my God, I have the Hunter Plaid.
Oh my God, I wrote, quote, what? Snow day vibe. I can relate. That was on my list. That's hysterical because that's us on a snow day.
Yeah.
Cozy up.
Yeah. I mean, my hair wouldn't have been done. Like Charlotte's
all day.
Charlotte's hair was done and she was all ready to go. But I have Hunter Plaid. It looks like it's thermal underwear basically, but it's pajamas. It's 2-piece. I think hers was a 1-piece though, right? I didn't examine that too hard, but and my son has Hunter Plaid also to match me. In fact, when he grew out of the other ones, I did get another set. So he likes to match me.
They're
still.
Adorable. Of course.
Yeah. I think those are. Yeah, I haven't been asked to speak at a conference yet.
Right.
Someone I edited for has been. Anyway, you go.
There you go.
You go. Your I can relate.
So my other I can relate that you didn't cover was bringing Cabernet to a dinner party because Cabernet is my favorite red wine, and I can relate because that's exactly what I would bring to a dinner party.
Did you stare at the wine glasses a little bit to see if the levels matched? I did it a little too. I was like, yeah. All right, here we go with the love hate. I got, I have a lot more loves than hates, which is good.
Me too.
Which I didn't totally expect.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we go over the loves first?
Yeah.
Or just do all of it? Okay. I love when Carrie's laptop falls over because that just would be something. The fact though that it got totally busted up. I dropped my laptop sideways like that. I was on the couch. I had my buds in, wired.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, those saved it, I think, because what ended up happening, it fell over. It was like, when something falls and like you feel like it's slow motion, you're like, no, because I mean, everybody, you don't want to just. Oh, meanwhile, too, she had the Mac for like 8 years. I'm like, yeah, I don't buy new Macs. They're $1,200. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, this is over 10 years old, and I use this for a lot of stuff. So yeah. So anyway, it fell. So the wire thing, I think, kind of helped it like not break. But what ended up happening was the part that goes into the laptop was funky and I couldn't really hear great. And I was like, so I was like playing with it. So then I pulled it and a metal piece stuck in, and the rest, the tiny, tiny metal piece stuck in. Don't ask me how. I was like, oh my God, I have to bring this to the Apple store. I have to have them fix this. Well, I ended up pulling out that metal piece with tweezers.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
Yeah. Good. Wouldn't have been able to record. Anyway, couldn't hear. Okay. I'm really sweating from this light. Okay. So where's my makeup person? Okay. To dab me. Man. I don't have makeup on, but somebody dab me. Somebody.
Get a little powder there.
Yeah. No, I need like those, the papers,
oil
tissue
sheet.
paper. Yeah. That's what I need right now.
I can't live without those in the winter or the summer.
No. Okay. I loved the look of the Hamptons house that they looked at. I love the scene with LTW in the bathroom putting on the wig. I just thought that was great. Yep. Why does she go to bed though with the wig on? Or was that like just the morning? Remember in the morning on Sunday, she was wearing the wig and then a hair wrap. So I just question that. That's all. Because you cannot sleep in a wig. That would be, I would not imagine. So just wanted to throw that in. I love when Herbert shows up at her event. I actually loved that Carrie brought Che as her sidekick to the event. I loved the scene, the fight between Steve and Miranda. I thought it was fantastic. It was upsetting and I cried, but I was like, yes! Like, I just felt like, finally.
Yeah. I wrote the Steve and Miranda fight needed to happen.
Yes. And I loved that Carrie emailed Aiden, wrote woo effing who, and then I loved the song at the end too. Okay. Yeah. Do you want to go over your loves?
My loves. Miranda's Jammies get another shout out under the love category because they were hearts and I love them. I also loved the Wilson Phillips reference because I'm a huge Wilson Phillips
I think I missed it.
It was which part? Publicist, right? Or what's her name? The publisher person. Yeah.
It starts with an A, unless that's her real name. Oh God, I forgot.
She talked about it, so I was excited about that.
Dang, I missed that part.
And then I loved Carrie's quote from her book. You don't move on because you're ready. You move on because you're outgrowing who you used to, or you've outgrown who you used to be. That I would like to write that quote down somewhere because I think it applies more than just the passing of somebody. Or being a widow. I think it applies to a lot of situations, and I think it's really relatable and it stuck with me. And that was probably my biggest love
takeaway. Biggest love. Yeah. In fact, I'm surprised I didn't write it down. I actually loved that whole part with her reading from the book. And yes, I loved that. I wonder if who wrote that? Did Michael Patrick King?
I don't know. But
we got to find that out.
It's beautiful. It makes sense.
Yeah. So for that, all changes in life, really, if you think about it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The hate. I hated Carrie, formerly known as Karen's outfits. She had 2 outfits.
Awful.
They were terrible. And I know they did that purposely. I wish they hadn't. They made her look so gray. Like everything was just gray and drab, and it was upsetting. I didn't like that. All right. Carrie's vintage ski suit as an outfit.
Correct.
Last one, Lily's attitude. Do you know I first had Lily's storyline, but as the episode went on, and actually after I read, which I didn't quote from what the New York Times writer had written about it, I was like, okay, I don't hate it. I think that, I just, at first with the storyline, I was like, okay. But I think it's realistic, possibly, not totally going out and almost killing yourself in the snowstorm and also letting your daughter go out in the snowstorm. It had nothing to do. Let's just put the other stuff aside. To go out in that snowstorm where you're going to have to be in the elements. Well, also driving would be obviously no, but anyway. But when I read her recap saying, like, she's like, anyone born way before Clinton's administration said, like, you could never imagine your parents. Like, no, this would not happen. And, growing up that way, you think, well, that's how everybody is. Parents aren't going to talk about that. Like, I got to wake up with the times and that it doesn't have to be that way. So anyway, I thought I changed my mind. Okay. What did you hate?
I have one. I hated the chick on the Zoom call in the
first scene.
I wanted to I was like, no, I could.
Did you see she had
we all know
earbuds?
Everything about, I'm like, oh, if this isn't like, poor Carrie. No wonder her laptop. Thank goodness her laptop fell over. I felt excited for her. So I just hated all of that whole thing.
The person still, well, I guess I thought it was going to be recorded, what she was doing with her, but I think she was writing it. And the fact that even she wrote something and put it out there was shocking to me, since the thing ended with it falling over. So the analyses, speech and language. I still don't get where Steve's accent is supposed to be from. Okay. It's a Bostonian a little bit, if that's the correct word, a little bit of Boston.
It's got a Boston in there.
There's a little Boston. There's maybe some sort of New York in there, but it's not.
It's a mix.
But that bothers me a lot. And it's always bothered me about him. Aww. But anyway, I do love Steve. Okay. What's your psychoanalysis? And I might have a question for you to do.
Yeah.
If you don't talk about it.
The whole, like, Miranda, is she the counselor for Che? Is she Che's mother? I did appreciate that Che referenced Miranda as their mother. Because call it like it is. Yeah. And that whole relationship now, the way that I think that was a good time for Che to speak up, like, this isn't going to be, because we're kind of like waiting for that, because the progression of it isn't getting any stronger. It's not they're both in different directions. And I think, again, you don't move on because you're ready. You move on because I think they outgrow each other.
Yes.
Simply.
Yes. And sorry.
No, that's it.
I was going to ask you, with that whole dynamic with Miranda and Che. Now, clearly Miranda shouldn't still be married to Steve. It's not Che's presence that did it. Miranda was, wanting to get out. But Miranda fell in love with Che when Che was at their highest point, right?
Yep. It was thrilling.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Che was very confident.
Yeah. It was this
magnetic,
it wasn't like a chase for Miranda, but it was something like she's never, it was this, I don't know.
Yeah. But then as like the crap got real, or that, so I mean, I guess I'm kind of analyzing it. My thing is, do you think, like, Miranda really ever loved Che, or loved more what she thought Che was? Or
it's a good point. I wonder if that will be explored more as we move. Although I watched the previews and it looks like Miranda's going on a hot date.
Going on a date.
I'm like,
on Valentine's Day. No, I was like, okay, move that along quickly.
I personally would probably be more focused on making sure that my son is, I know he's an adult, for crying out loud, but I would be sort of making my priority. Not that she didn't make it a priority, but it's sloppy in a way. It's very, I don't know.
Yeah.
Make sure that all is well
Yeah.
with that and focus on the divorce part. And I don't know.
Right.
Trying to get that all finalized so that you can also work on because you know, your son's older, but like, if you're going to make that co-parent, I know he's an adult, but I don't mean to say, you know what I'm saying? But like, they should be friends. Like she should be working with Steve.
They still need to work on the co-parent.
Yes.
No matter what.
They do.
It doesn't matter. Unless Brady, I mean, there's still an effect from the divorce. He's still living with his parents, you know, went through a devastating breakup, even though we didn't like her. Louisa.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And also I was going to say, Che wasn't ever clingy, which I felt right, I felt like goes along, but it's, I don't know. It's just interesting. I mean, like even though was really beat up about the show and feels like their future is dead with whatever. And I think that going to the WidowCon with Carrie helped them like boost some confidence and like got them out of the house, you know, everything. So I think that really helped them and actually boosted maybe some confidence and and made them realize that this wasn't working. But it was just interesting because many times when people do get depressed and low confidence, that's when they don't want to let go of maybe one thing they have that's still the same as it was. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting.
Cling to something.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people didn't like Che. I mean, I just was getting sick of the storyline, but I actually liked the whole thing. And I think that I really liked this episode. At first I was like, I don't know about this. And then I really got into it. They needed that, like that fight with Steve. They needed that to happen. And finally it was like, yes, like I felt like a lot of this was like caricatures of their old characters or something.
Anyway. Agreed.
So I think that's it. All right, wrapping it up at 32. That's what another episode was.
All right.
Woo. Okay.
All right, you go cool yourself down.
Now it's sunny out again. It was pouring. Now I can go swimming.
I'm gonna finish
drinking your
cucumber
is that
water.
Cucumbers?
Mm-hmm.
I always have a ton of cucumbers in my house because of Donovan, but I never
cucumber water.
I should see if you'd like that. It is. All right.
Wow. Thanks for listening.
All right. Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.